Welcome to Ellie Goldson's Inspired Flow, wishing everybody a good week. I'm just in the middle of Jerusalem while my wife is shopping, soulmate keeping herself busy, just getting myself into the groove for the week. A new week of growth and opportunity. Funny enough, I was just trying to help someone with a potential soulmate matchmaking story, and it's not going to be the one. And as my wife is clarifying very much how it's not the one, my phone flew out and smashed on the floor. And I said to myself, this is cool, because it was sort of coming off anyway, the screen. And the good news was it was only the shield that broke. So straight away, we were right by the shop and got a new screen. Sounds like a pretty boring, mundane point, but the flow is we can constantly begin again and move on forward and upwards, as they say, onwards and upwards. So that's what we're doing, and that's, I think, something we all have to do on a daily level. We're going to have struggles, we have moments of breakage, and we're talking about on an inner level, but the opportunity is to grow from that. So I wish everyone a week of growth, an opportunity for me personally to host different people. We just had one of my best friends for Shabbos. We'll be hosting my uncle from Florence this Shabbos, and hopefully next Shabbos we'll be hosting the Black family. They come once in a while, and they might even be moving out of Yerushalayim, so I've got to jump on the opportunity to host them again. And then we have our preparations, towards the Zman, the time of Purim and Pesach. There's a certain specialness in those times. And even though it's a bit longer way right now, because we get an extra month, it's a leap year, in that time is opportunity to internalize what these special times up ahead are all about, so they don't just approach and we miss the boat. And I think that's really like a big point that I want to bring out in today's Inspired Flow. We're going to call it the internalization, is that every minute you have an opportunity to internalize, experience life, and understand that there's messages, there's opportunities to move forward, there's opportunities to move upwards, there's opportunities for growth, there's opportunities to connect with people in real, sincere ways. And in business, this is crucial, because you're going to have an idea and you think it's amazing. Like right now I have this Unity Inspires Projects idea, and thank God I even have a bit of backing now to do some logo, branding, video work, and I even met with the person. But the person told me they're not available for this week, so I'm excited to go. I've got to wait a week, and in that week I'm going to use the opportunity to think before I push ahead too quick. And I looked at the history of Live Aid and Live Earth and Live 8, and things were very last minute, like within 2 months or 8 weeks, 5 weeks, they had to put a whole show together on a colossal level. Like Live 8 was in 8 locations, and within Hyde Park there was 150,000 people. That was interesting. It was in 2005. I wasn't around on the scope of checking out what was doing in those days. I was in another world spiritually. I was busy in Jerusalem helping souls who came here, and anyone who remembers me in those days, I wasn't online or anything like that, and I was just busy in a very spiritually focused way. And I don't regret that time, but I did miss out on that kind of exposure that my family were involved with. They ran the show and they did the promotions and merchandise, and it was a big show. Like a lot of famous, great songs that I grew up with were featured there, including Stevie Wonder and Richard Ashcroft, and big songs like Superstitious and Bittersweet Symphony, and songs that I grew up with, or like A Prayer from Madonna. Not that I'm really into her, but that was a good song. We have that whole world that was my upbringing was featured and was all about solving poverty. Now, what is the difference in terms of what I want to do? I want to do another Live Aid, a Live Aid revival, but in a different way. I want it to be focused on unity, not on political intrigue and power, using it to resolve global issues. That's not my focus, not my power, it's not my thing. I want to make a show that brings a feeling of unity, of communication, of togetherness, I believe that with communication, with emotional intelligence and connection, we can actually be much more involved with resolving poverty and any other issue in the world than actually taking money and giving it to people, because it might come, it might go, it might get in the wrong hands, all kinds of complications. I don't even know if half the promises were fulfilled on that whole project, and I'm not saying that it was a waste of time. Everything was very, very appreciated, I'm sure, by the people in those countries that received the money, and the poverty that was removed on some level. But I do believe for long term it's actual real emotional growth, and that's going to come through communication, that's going to come through awareness, that's going to come through unity and a deep level, unity in the home, unity in business, unity in everything we're doing. And I spoke this out with the branding person. It was about half an hour just explaining the mission and my personal journey, and I'm not going to do that on this podcast, it's just too long. Maybe I'll do it one day, but for now I'm just doing a part of it. I believe that inner content, that introspection, that brings you to an inspired flow that has a lasting effect, a lasting change. Like I said in Bittersweet Symphony, in that famous song that I grew up listening to, you can change, you can change. And it's going on about the change, the power of change. Well, that is what we can do. That is our ability, but it comes from introspection, it comes from inner work. And I think that really would be the kind of show that I would want to bring about, and however that manifests, I'm going to start building it. So I wish everybody a beautiful rest of the week. I would like to hear how you're changing and doing that inner work, that introspection that will bring out more unification in your life. And all these projects are really welcomed, and all to do with collaboration. It's not just a private journey for me, it's for everybody in my sphere of influence and who wants to be influencing me. I'm happy to collaborate and do something. All the best. Live inspired.